Welcome back. Thank you for being here again. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, because I need as many subscribers as I can get. I've got about 80 odd at the minute. I know I've only done a couple of videos, but I want you to subscribe. I need more subscribers. And I appreciate all your comments as well. It's been awesome. And you're really helping with this Porsche Cayenne project. I've just got underneath today. I've got her up in the air. What I'm going to do is just drop the oil, change the oil filter. I've got a pollen filter here as well. I'm going to change. Still waiting on the air filters. There's 2 air filters for these. They're on their way. Yeah, I just want to drop the oil and see what it's like in the pan, in the oil sump. It did look good. I checked it on the dipstick and it was actually like brown and clean, which I'm surprised about. It must have had a recent service, which is not in the service history. But I want to drop it anyway and change it, and then I'll do another service later on in the project with all different parts, and I'm going to do the spark plugs and things as well. I want to check all them. I've just done a full engine bay detail as well. That was so grotty, that engine bay. It was full of leaves, all the drains were blocked up. So I've just done a little short video on that. So thank you if you've watched that and commented and liked on that. And with your comments as well, like I say, you're really helping, because in one of my last videos I was talking about the interior, and I just had a mad one where I wanted to get in there and change the colour of everything and rip it all out and do Alcantara this, Alcantara that. And a lot of people have mentioned, and thank you for this, I'm going to ruin this car if I start sort of pimp my riding it, you know, like changing it too much. Now, the interior is sand beige. Not everyone's cup of tea. I personally like it. A lot of people have said they do like it. It's original. I keep saying it, but it's a 20-year-old 2005 car. And I do want to keep it as original as possible. I know they're not going to shoot up in value, these things. Well, you never know, they might do. But if I do change it to what it shouldn't be, I'm not adding any value really, and I'm not doing it proud. So the headliner is sand beige. The interior is mostly sand beige. That's the colour apparently. So rather than a black or grey Alcantara, which is what I was going to do, I can buy sand beige Alcantara, and apparently these from new, I think it was a GTS or the S model, you could opt for a sand beige interior Alcantara. This has just got the fabric, so I'm going to jump in there in a sec anyway. Once I've finished with this oil change and whatnot, I'm going to rip the rest of that headliner out. There'll be all the A, B, C pillars, the grab handles, a few little electrics and the airbag points and things. We'll rip all them out. I'm going to lay them all out nice. Obviously I'm going to do all the cleaning and the scrubbing and get them to how they should be before we even start the job, especially the headliner, because it's got a lot of old foam on it and glue. That's going to take some cleaning. And I've watched a lot of videos on people that have done these headliners on different cars, and they've whinged and moaned and said what a pain in the backside of a job it is. And I know it's going to be a pain, but I'm going to go for it, and if I mess it up, I'll just keep going until I got it right. Mainly the headliner. I think all the pillars will be quite tricky as well. But yeah, I'm going to do the headliner and all the pillars in a sand beige Alcantara, which I can buy in a roll. And obviously all the correct glue and whatnot. But I think the cleaning part of that job, that process, is going to be the vital part of it. It's the most important part, and from what I've seen on other videos as well, if you skip that step or get lazy on that step, you're going to set yourself up for failure and end up with a crap job. But I want this to be mint, so that is what I'm going to do. I'm waiting on that. I've also ordered 2 rear new tail light clusters as well. They're on the way. And thank you for the guy or for whoever it was that subscribed and commented on my old video about my exhaust tips I've bought from a Cayenne S. So I've bought the twin exhaust, or the quad exhaust, to go on this. I didn't realise this at the time. I thought they were going to fit, but I need a turbo valance off a turbo, or maybe an S, which I've ordered. So that has a bigger inlet part on the valance for the quads to fit in, and I've managed to find one, so that's on its way in the same package as the lights. So I can strip the old one off, put the new one on, and then when I get the exhausts cut and welded and fitted, they're going to fit perfect in the valance. And I want them nice and tucked in OEM where they should be, not sticking out like a bloody wheelbarrow. So I want to get that all nice so it looks right. So that is another job. Bumper off, balance off, strip it in 2 pieces, and then crack on with the welding and getting the tips on. So yeah, so like I say, I'm going to get these pans off underneath, drop the oil, get the filter out, have a nice little inspect and just see what it's like, and I'll have a nosy underneath as well and see what I'm looking at. I've had a little look this morning and it looks really good for the age of the car, and I can see some new bits underneath as well that someone's done in the past, which is good. So yeah, I'm going to crack on. This better go in the pan. I always manage to get it on the floor everywhere, and I'm dead OCD and I have to clean it up straight away. It's 19mm on the sump. I've already cracked it. It's dripping out already, and it's like nice and brown, it's nice and clean looking already. It's on the side, this sump bolt, rather than being underneath, which is annoying. It's just going to go straight out the back. See. Another thing is as well, the filter's up in here, I'll show you in a bit. In the right rubbish position, big hose in the way. But it is what it is, we'll get it out. It's 36mm. I've got a new sump plug for this as well, obviously. A washer. Why is that not coming up by hand? There we go. Right. Please go straight in the pan. Not all over my floor. It is what it is. You twat. That looks well clean. Really clean. I knew that was going to do that. Alright, let's get this out. About 6.2 litres I think coming out of here. Well, I hope there is. Looks good on the dipstick. That is mega clean, that. I'm well surprised. I was expecting that to be black. Like I say, this is just a little pre-service, and then on my next service I'm going to do a flush. So I think I used liquid moly last time, and I put it in with the old oil that was already in there obviously, and then just run the engine for 15 minutes and it flushes around in the sump and flushes it all through, you know, it gets a viscosity nice and liquidy, nice and thin, and then when you do drop the oil it just drops and hopefully brings all the grot out with it as well after it's been flushed with the liquid moly engine flush, if you like, oil flush that I use. And then once I've put the new oil in, which I'll do on the next oil change, I add a liquid moly. I'm not advertising liquid moly, by the way, this is just a company or the product I've used in the past, and I've found them to be good. There's one called a Ceratec, and that's an additive that I put in with the oil. And I swear by it, it might be a placebo effect, but I use it and I like it. So yeah, happy days. Right, so I've got about a litre on the floor and the rest of it in the pan. Doesn't seem like 6.2 litres come out of there, but we'll see. It's well clean, that. So I'll let it strain for a bit, clean up the mess I've just made, and then get the filter out as well. Right, don't do what I just did and just break the oil filter from the 36mm like I just did. Break that out first, drain the oil from the oil filter, and then break your 36mm, because I have just dropped, I would say, about a litre of oil all over myself, all over the floor, all in my hair, some of my jeans, It is everywhere. I'm soaked in it. It's gone up my sleeve. What a clown. I don't know why I didn't just slow down for a minute and look at what I was doing. But I should have broke that first, pulled that insert out, dropped the oil out of the oil filter housing, and then cracked the 36mm. That's a right sod to get to. It's right up inside. So I stuck it on an extension, threw out the 36 and broke that. And yeah, I've just learnt my lesson the hard way there. And I'm usually quite good at these jobs, to be fair. I'm not a qualified mechanic, but I do a lot of bits myself. And I don't know why I've done that, but I did. And there is oil absolutely everywhere. So yeah, I've got a new O-ring for the filter housing thread. A new filter, that's a Marl one. There was a Crossland one in it. And I know I said it earlier, the oil in that car, which is mainly over my floor and my jeans and in my hair, is absolutely brand new. So it must have just had an oil change. Like I said, it's not in the service history that it's just recently been done. So yeah, it must have had an oil change before I got it, because the oil is super clean, really fresh. But yeah, I'm just going to change this O-ring out, get the new filter in, get this housing back up, get that torqued up, new oil in, and we're good to go. And then I'll take about a week to clean up all this oil. I've treated her to a keyring as well. That sort of matches. She's happy. I'm happy, she's happy. Right, let's get this engine started up and run it for a little bit with the new oil in. And then we'll just check for leaks underneath. It is the next morning. I've just had to come in and finish off cleaning up the workshop because of my little oil spill yesterday. No shame, I messed up there, so hopefully you guys won't mess up if you're doing the same job, because you've seen me do it. I should have dropped that small Torx bit out of the bottom of the oil filter housing before I dropped the oil filter housing itself, and I learnt the hard way with a litre of oil all over me, and I had to go home and get a shower and throw my clothes in the wash. I was literally drenched, it was everywhere, all in my jacket, my jeans, and then I put my clothes in the washing machine and got in the shower, and I then put my clothes in the tumble dryer once they'd been washed, and the tumble dryer was stinking of burning oil, so my girlfriend's well happy with that. But there we go. Right, so workshop's clean, the Porsche's outside. I sorted the customer's M2 out last night. That was a little BMW M2 for Apple CarPlay installation. So I'll get the Porsche in a minute, and then I'm going to finish off by doing that pollen filter, which I wanted to do yesterday and I didn't get a chance to do. And I've also had some spark plugs turn up as well, so I'll see if I can crack on with them, but we'll see. Yeah, and I'd just like to say as well, like, I'm running this little business here. My main thing is paint correction, ceramic coatings. I do all sorts of other little bits here at Flamboyant Details as well. Brake caliper painting, interior details, leather protection, PPF, ceramic coatings, you name it. There's a lot of things I do. And also, what I mentioned, I've got an Instagram profile or an Instagram page. I've probably got about 2,000 followers on there. The main brunt of my work that goes through this business is on the Instagram page. That's Flamboyant Details Limited. I'll put a link in my description here or something so you can see it. Just if you want to go on there and see all the cars I've done, all the vehicles and projects I've done in the past. And another thing I wanted to mention is I done a VW Golf Mark IV GTI, which was a proper barn find. I got that for 400 quid close to my workshop. It was literally in a little warehouse, and it was covered in rot. It was wrecked, it wouldn't start. And I got that in, and I pretty much nut and bolt restored that, suspension, brakes, everything. I got it mint, done all the paint. And I'm not a qualified mechanic. I've never done suspension before, so I really wanted to do that to learn. I learnt the hard way. I lost a few knuckles. I took a 13mm spanner to the nose and split my nose open, and it was hard graft. It was rotten with rust, but I enjoyed it. It's a passion for me. Same as this Porsche is a passion. But yeah, I got that little Mark IV Golf GTI mint. I ended up selling it to a young couple. I didn't make any money on it. I put so much into it, but like I say, it's a passion. And I never documented any of that. I put a few pictures on my Instagram, and that was it. So that's why it's sort of come to light. I need to sort of document these little projects I do. For one, it'll help you guys, if you own a Porsche Cayenne or you just want to see how bits are done, you can watch me do them, learn by my mistakes, which I make now and again, as you'll see in these videos. Yeah, and that's just a cool little thing to watch, you know, if you're interested in that sort of thing. I certainly am. So yeah, and like I say, as well as running this little business and making money through this business and putting it into these little projects as a side project, a passion, I also work away offshore on the oil and gas installations on the oil rigs. So every now and again I'll jump on a helicopter and fly offshore for 2, 3 or 4 weeks. That brings me extra money in, helps run this place and helps with these little projects. So yeah, I've done that for about 15 years and I'll probably do it for another 10 years if I can. So everything helps. But yeah, that's what I do on the side of this company. And before that I was also in the Queen's Company Grenadier Guards, 1st Battalion Grenadier Guards, believe it or not, and this is me here. I've done that for about 5 years ago, but that's another story. So that's a little background on me. But like since then, I've just had a massive passion for cars, and that's what's brought this this little project on this Porsche. And I love it, even though it's hard work and you get covered in oil and you lose knuckles and sometimes it drives you nuts. It's a passion, and some of you guys watching this will probably know the love for it, you know, messing about with old cars and getting old cars that, you know, back on the road running mint again. It's just lovely. I love it. So right, let's get the Porsche in anyway. I'm ranting on. Get this pollen filter done and see what other bits I can sort out. I'll see you in a minute. Right, I've just pulled that old pollen filter out. Look at the mess that come out of there. I need to hoover all this out. It was absolutely rotten. This is why I love doing little jobs like this. That really needed doing. Someone's not been in there and done that for a while. It is literally just a little 20 Torx underneath and 2 little 7mm nuts as well that come off this plate, and then it slides out. It's an easy enough job in the passenger side footwell, and yeah, it's absolutely stinking. And here's the old filter here. It's just full of grot. So really nice job, worth doing that. And another little tip as well, when you get your new filter, which I've got here, before you slide that in, obviously hoover out all the interior and the housing if you can as well, where the filters come out from. Hoover all the debris out and then spray car air freshener of your choice onto your new filter before you slide it in. And I use, myself personally, I like Chemical Guys signature scent. Used to be called stripper scent, but they had to change the name. If you've not tried that, that is an awesome car air freshener. So yeah, just saturate your new pollen filter in your car air freshener before you slide it in, and you get the nice scent coming into the vehicle. So that is that little job nearly done. I'll just square that away now, and I'm going to move on to the power steering fluid. So I'm going to suck all the old steering fluid out and replace that, and we'll see what sort of state that's in. I'm just waiting for a couple of litres to turn up, so back in a sec. I just wanted to show you guys something else really quick as well. I know it's another silly little job, but it might help someone. These little plates in the interior, they just sit at the bottom here, just there and one here at the bottom of your seat compartment. Now this one's good, it's all clipped in and neat, and it's not going anywhere. It takes force to take that one out, but this one was sat really loose and I couldn't clip it in for some reason. It just kept falling away. So what I found is there's two, let me get this to focus in so you can see. There's 2 little housings in there, tiny little square. Just make one out there and another one deep in there, little square housings. And these clips here were sat inside them housings, so they'd come away from this plate. So someone had ripped the plate out and the clips had stayed in place. So I just used a screwdriver and a pair of pliers to get the clips back out, and then the clips slide back into these little housings on the plate. So then now this should clip back into place, he says. Slide it under a bit. And there we go. That's clipped back into place. Something silly, but a job done. Right, so power steering fluid. I know what I said just earlier on in the video I was going to do the spark plugs, but I'm running out of time, so this is probably going to be the last bit of this video. So I've done the pollen filter there, which I just showed you, and I've fixed that little clip inside. Silly little jobs, but these are all good jobs that are worth doing. And they're all building up to the finale, because I can't wait. I'm leaving it right to the end. I know I'm leaning on it. I don't really care at the minute, 'cause I'll be cutting all this. The paint, clear coat, I can't wait. That's going to be my finale, hitting this clear coat, cutting and refining all this paint, and getting the exterior of this car beautiful. That's going to be the absolute nuts, and I can't wait. This basalt black, or however you pronounce it, is just going to look incredible, and I'll be wet sanding all these lights and that as well, and getting them back to brand new. So all these little jobs are building up to it. I don't want to get all the paint enhanced and ceramic coated and beautiful and then start climbing all over it doing little jobs like this. But yeah, this is probably going to be the last part of this video, doing the power steering fluid. The fluid I've just sucked out of the reservoir is grotty. It's absolutely stinking, and it smells really bad. It's proper potent. It's probably full of impurities, never been done. So you've got fluid in the power steering fluid reservoir and also in the pump. So I've used a turkey baster to suck the old fluid out of the reservoir, put it into a plastic cup, and then what I'll do is I'll turn the ignition on, turn the steering, put new fluid in first, turn the steering, and then just keep sucking it out. So my idea is to displace all the old fluid out of the reservoir, and what I can drag out of the pump as well into a container, and then just keep topping it up until we've completely displaced it from old to new. That's the aim anyway, and I'm hoping it'll lighten the steering up, because the steering feels a little bit heavy, and I don't know if the old power steering fluid or power steering fluid with impurities affects that. It was on minimum. The car handles really well, by the way, and the acceleration is so responsive. I thought this was going to be like dead lummoxy and like a big boat to drive, but it's sharp, man. It handles really well, and it's really responsive. But the steering is just a little bit heavy, and that's what's led me to do this job. So maybe it'll lighten it up, or maybe it is, that's how it is. But I'd just like to say, on the back of everything, I know I rant on a bit. Thanks for subscribing, for following, for liking, commenting, everything. I really appreciate it. I've not hardly got any subscribers at the minute, so I need to build my subscriber base up. It really helps. And then obviously when I've finished this project, I know it's going to take a while to get this done, but it's not done until it's done, and I want this car to be mint. I want to buy something else and start another project, and I've got so many ideas floating through my head. I've had to look at loads of stuff, Japanese cars, more Porsches, but different models. I won't say what. God knows, but it'll be nice to buy another one and start again and do something else. But for now, we're going to keep cracking on with this one until it's absolutely perfect. That's the aim. But yeah, again, thank you so much for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed and you're watching this, please subscribe. It really helps. And I'll keep banging these videos out as much as I can. It takes a long time to get, obviously do the work and then get home and edit it, or so it's good enough to put on YouTube. Well, hopefully it's good enough anyway, and hopefully you're enjoying the videos as much as I am doing the work. There's that fluid that came out, by the way. Look at that. Absolutely stinking. And it really does smell as well. I don't know if it's supposed to smell like that. That is absolutely rotten. But look at the colour of it. So I need to get that nice and clear. And that's what I will do. I'll just keep displacing it until it's running through and nice and clear. But yeah, that's not been changed for a while. That needs changing. What?